for people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. Prove to them and can still amount to something. So that being said, 27 minutes of your time. Each of you has 5 minutes, so everyone has enough time. Towards the end of the show, I will pass it over to you guys and interact with each other. But the first thing I want to promote is HB Gibson, home of the X Zone. If you're in entertainment, definitely check out HB Gibson. If you like anime, all types of different animes, definitely check out Anime Adventures. If you're into eating, working, and working out, definitely check out Life of a Fighter. But the first one I want to ask Mary, what can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came into the acting business?
Okay. My name is Mary Anderson. I'm a professional singer, model, and actress. I started acting about 4 years ago now. As far as on-screen acting, I've been an extra and a featured extra in many local productions, such as TV commercials, a couple of industrials, student films, or indie films, I should say, music videos such as the Eminem Walk on Water that filmed down at Masonic Temple a few years back. And it's just been really interesting. It's a whole new path. I've done a lot of voiceover work, such as 2 audiobooks that I both narrated and produced, and they're available on Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. One is called Crazy About You, and the other is The Only Escape. And it's just been very interesting. I've always loved to do voices. I can do some accents, such as an East Indian accent, and the British accent are really fun to do. I do a character imitation, such as Madame Mim, if any of you are familiar with her. She's the witch character in the Walt Disney film The Sword and the Stone from the 1960s. And of course, Stitch is a more current character, very popular. And I'm just trying to see where my career path will take me. I've done English as a second language assessment test for the University of Michigan and Cambridge universities. I've done, many of those in the recording studio. I have sung on the soundtrack for a couple of indie films that filmed locally and in other states as well. So that's a little bit about my acting background.
Perfect. And Margaret, same exact question for you. For our audience who wants to know a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am an actress who is based in Michigan, really in actually the perfect area. I'm about 3 hours away from Detroit, an hour away from Chicago. So traveling is super great. My start in acting actually started with a lot of training. A couple years ago, had the opportunity to work with an actor who became my mentor. His name is Peter. And we worked together in a stage play, and he came up and said, "Hey, you have a lot of stage presence. You are good. Why don't you give it a shot? Let me kind of take you under my wing." And before that, I worked in nonprofit entertainment sector. So I had a lot of stage time anyway, had a lot of engagement with audience. So I always loved being on stage, loved being in front of people. And this just was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And that was 2019. So then, of course, what happened? COVID hit. And it was actually the perfect time to really start building the skills, building my toolbox, starting to learn how to play with different emotions. I like to think of us as, obviously we're artists, but instead of paints and paintbrushes, we're using our emotions. I just absolutely love that analogy. So I just started taking as many classes as I could, worked with my mentor over the course of the past couple of years. And pretty much since January, I've started really going after it, just finding as many casting opportunities as I can, joining, iGroup, Productions Plus, trying to find representation, and just like Mary, doing, the student films or indie films, as she corrected. Yes, that's perfect. Indie films, trying to find, background extra work in Chicago, and just anything and everything just to get out there, meet people. And what I love about acting is, I love answering this question because it feels as every time I get a new role, every time I have an opportunity to build a new character, I'm not just building a character in an emotional world for that character. I feel like I'm rebuilding myself in some ways. I'm a wholer person because of that. And something I love about acting is giving an audience a safe space to explore those feelings and to try to feel wholer by the end of the performance as well. So while I'm definitely greener and I'm very excited and fresher, and I don't have as much as experience as Mary, I'm working really, really hard to get there. And just anything and everything I can get it's just a joy. I absolutely love it. So that's my story. I'm about 3 years in, and here I am.
Oh, perfect. So I'm just gonna throw these questions out to both of you, and you guys can just take turns and see. Actually, let's just have fun with that. I'm gonna throw out the question and see how it goes. So the first one I'm gonna ask you, for both of you, is what attracted you to begin your career as an actress? Whoever wants to start first.
I'll go first. Okay. So I actually, when I was a kid, my mom was really she was a director for stage plays. So she would always have me and my sister up on stage with the actors. And that was always something that was really attractive. Growing up, I didn't know this was something you could make money in. I just always saw the stars on TV and was like, how do you get there? How do you do that? This seems impossible. So I never pursued it. I just let it go, moved into something else. And then, honestly, getting back on stage for, running front of house, running shows, being able to announce the performers and being around performers really kind of brought up those inspirations again. And then it was just the perfect alignment of stars, meeting my mentor and moving into it. So.
Oh, perfect. What about you, Mary?
Well, I think initially what really drew me to acting is Robin Williams, I have to say, was a huge, huge inspiration to me, especially watching the Disney film Aladdin as a little girl and just, really seeing how dynamic his voice is and how he can just, personify so many different, characters and just make so many different sounds. And anyways, but he really, really inspired me to become a voiceover actress and really to pursue my dreams. And, like Margaret mentioned, back in 2014 is when I started to really seek out representation with agencies. Just like she mentioned, iGroup and Productions Plus, the Talent Shop, and model and talent management. I did sign with a couple of agencies down in Florida as well. And it's always amazing, like to just pursue your dreams. And, no matter how difficult things might be, or, of course, there's so much competition in the entertainment realm, and, but don't let anything stop you. Of course, you're not going to get every opportunity that you apply for. It doesn't mean that you're not good. It just means that you're perhaps not the best fit, or, you don't have all of the qualities that the casting director is looking for. But definitely keep on going. Don't let anything discourage you. Of course, there's plenty of rejection in this field, and we've all been there. We've all gone through that. But just keep on plugging away, and you'll have amazing experiences.
No, absolutely. I do want to say one thing. Is there a way if you can turn up your mic a little bit? So it is kind of low.
Okay.
But while we do that, Margaret, I want to ask you the same question. What attracted you to become an actress?
So what attracted me to becoming an actress was, first of all, just I love being on stage. In my previous job in nonprofit entertainment, I had a lot of stage time and built up relationships with a lot of people through that, and with a lot of entertainers, and really getting to know people and just feeling that connection and that energy. And it's really an incredible feeling. And then starting to work with my current mentor, he's just an amazing actor, amazing person. He just opened me up to a whole new world. Speaking of Aladdin, a whole new world. And alongside of what Mary is saying, there is a lot of rejection, and that has been hard because it kind of is based a lot on, do you fit the part? Do you look the part? Do you have the right voice? It's a crazy thing that it's not always the most talented actor that gets the job, and everyone is so talented. Everyone is so dedicated. It's so much about having the right timing, the right look, the right people. And you just have to keep going. If you are passionate and you're determined enough, like Mary was saying, you just keep going. You just keep sending in, you keep putting the pedal to the metal, and you have to almost have a blind faith in yourself that you can do this. And I say that to myself every single day I wake up. I can do this. I have to do this because I love it. I truly love it so much. So a lot about it is just emotional connection, feeling more like a whole person, and inviting the audience into an emotional world where they can have deeper experiences. And it's kind of like healing, it's healing a community. I love that. I love that.
Hey, like what I always say, never do things half-ass. You have to be 110%. You have to be very passionate. If you want to do it, for me, I want to do this to the day I die. So for me, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're going to set yourself up for failure. So for me, this is not work. This is, for fun, you're having fun doing it. Once it starts feeling like it's a job and it starts to weigh on you, that's when you start with the self-doubts. You got to start making mistakes. And it's going to start killing it for you. And whatever passion or interest that you had in the beginning, you're going to start downing yourself. It's not going anywhere. A lot of people say to me, Keith, it's been 8.5 years with your talk show. If it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to go anywhere. But for me, I'd rather have it be slow and steady than, having a rocket ship, shut up your ass. It'd be like an overnight sensation, like Scarlett Johansson, or like Miley Cyrus, or that kid who plays with toys and picks his nose. I don't want to be an overnight sensation. I wanted to make a solid foundation and take it up to the next level. In the beginning, I was aiming high. But then I realized, what? You have to work at the bottom and work up. Because what's like the expression? It says, if you aim high and miss, I will be proud of you. But if you hit low, aim low and hit, I will be disappointed in you. So I'm always aiming high. But this is not about me, this is about you. But Mary, I'm going to ask you the next question. What has been your greatest achievements as a professional actress?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would say recently in November of 2020, I filmed my first on-camera speaking role for an independent film. So I was really excited about that. I think, I had been, a background actress in so many, different productions, and here was finally, my chance to play a news anchor, actually, and I was reporting live at the scene of a crime, basically. I don't want to give away too much because the film is still in production, and it will be for some time, so I can't say too much, but that was really, really exciting. And the casting director said, I'm really impressed with your voice. You have a very crystal clear voice with like perfect diction, and I think you would be perfect for this particular role as a news anchor. So that was really, really cool to have that opportunity. And I hope to work with her on more films in the future. And oh my goodness. And also recently, I did some narration on another independent film that's in production. And I had my second on-camera speaking role in the beginning of June for like a horror type of film. And it was actually a confrontational scene, which was really, really interesting. I've never done anything quite like that before, and wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but it was kind of funny actually, and it was an amazing experience. So I'm very grateful, for everything that has come my way. So
Absolutely, Margaret. Same exact question.
I was actually, when you mentioned the news report, if it's okay if is it okay to deviate real quick?
Yeah, it's fine.
I think I may know which one you're talking about. And it might have been the same audition. It was so fun. I loved that audition. It might have been. I don't know, because there was one with a horror film and it was news reporter. So I'm so happy for you, because that was such a fun one. I don't know if that's the same one, but there was one I recently, I didn't obviously get it, but it was a lot of fun. That's so cool. Okay. So, but as far as accomplishments, so I'm just, wow, that's so cool. Right now I'm doing a stage play, which I love. I actually really do love being on stage. There's just nothing like connecting with your fellow actors and having that connective tissue that's just pure electric spark. It's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I'm playing Joanna, and it's all about, social justice. And let's talk about what is something that shouldn't be really relevant anymore, is still unfortunately very relevant in today's day and age, which is, the discussion about racism. And it's so great to be part of something that is much larger than myself. It is a very cool feeling to be working with really passionate people on this project. And we're all in it for the same reason. We know the message that we're trying to get across. And it's been an incredible experience. My other upcoming next summer that I'm looking forward to is a series role in a series called Scoring Oceanside. They're trying to right now get it union approved. Everything's kind of under wraps. Can't just like Mary, can't really talk about it because you sign your contracts and your NDAs and everything. So I will be playing. Her name is Ella Davis. And she is the head of her medical team. So I figured, I'm not the type of actress who's necessarily the ingenue romantic lead. And not because don't have a nice face or a figure. It's because my voice is a little bit lower than your typical romantic lead. So, roles like being a doctor or being a lawyer or scientist or social justice work perfectly. And I hope we do connect, because I want to know what it's like to be in a horror film, because I want so badly to be in a horror flick at some point. So maybe you'll be able to let me know someday. We'll see.
All right. That's very interesting. Yeah, it'll be great to, to speak afterwards. And yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll work together at some point in the future.
That would be so cool. And you do have such a beautiful voice, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why I like doing double interviews, you bring people together. But the one thing I like I want to see some competition between both of you. So that's the next question I want to ask. And then, Margaret, I'm going to start off with you. First one is, describe your acting style. And that's for both of you. How would your acting style be different from Mary? And Mary, how is your acting style different from Margaret? Or not Margaret, but I start off with you.
Oh, yeah. So that's an interesting question. So a lot of my training has been based in a lot of relaxation and truth of how you're feeling in the moment. So really, I think that's pretty much every actor. We're all just using our own experiences and how we're feeling. But it's not the same as method acting, where you are the character all the time. It's me, but it's portraying someone else. So I guess my acting style is just very based in truth, how I'm feeling, and how do I right now, what my next level up thing that I need to work on as an actor is when I do my character work. You fill out your 5 W's, your 6 W's, who, what, where, when, why. That's 5. And, you answer all your questions, like Uta Hagen questions, and you work on how do they walk, how do I feel, everything. So my challenge right now is how do I take this character I created, my emotional world, and combine the two to make it a natural delivery. And when I'm able to do it, I feel like it's very good. And then when I'm not able to do it, the director's like, okay, what's going on today? Because it's coming across as, like, let's tap into something real here. So, but that's exactly what would probably set me apart from Mary, who has now 5 years of experience, probably has found her voice more. I don't want to speak at all for Mary, but I'm still finding my voice, to be honest. I really am. I want to be taken seriously as an actress, but I know where I am, and I know who I am, and I know that I have work to do.
No, absolutely. Mary, same question.
Okay. I would say since I've only had 2 on-screen speaking roles so far in films, more of my experience that I can really draw from is in the voiceover acting realm. And oh my Lord, for this one book, the one audiobook that I narrated and produced, it was quite a feat because there was at least, I want to say, 15 different characters. And of course, when it's not a film, you can't see the person's face, you're only hearing voices. So I'm like, how can I really work to distinguish each character, like one from another, so people can really tell like which character is speaking at what time. And there were male voices, female voices. I had to really try to like lower my voice to make it more masculine sounding for the male characters. The one character that was the most fun to do was the New York Mafia character, and it was a gentleman, so I had to really think about the Mafia movies and things like that, like like Casino, The Godfather, a lot of that influence definitely went into, or like Steve Sharippa, if you know who that is, like, really those were great influences in trying to draw on how to do a New York accent really well. So that was really fun. There was a lot of intensity in many of the lines in that particular book. So I really had to kind of like be present in the moment and really take on the feelings of that character and try to convey it through my voice as best I can, because again, I can't be seen on a screen, so to really like see the feelings and so forth. So it's very different in voiceover acting, and I just really try to be in the moment and convey whatever it is that particular character is feeling, and change my voice, whether it be a mature sounding voice like a parent's or a younger voice, to portray the children, just various accents. It was a very, very interesting experience, and a lot of time and effort went into it for sure. So
No, absolutely.
It is a really good question. Yeah.
So the other question I want to ask you is, how can our fans and listeners follow you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Yes, I do have a modeling portfolio. It's facebook.com/Mary Pixie, Pixie Magic, all one together. I also have an Instagram, and it's Mary A. Caligirl, CALIGIRL. And I do have an IMDb as well, but it's sort of a long link. Perhaps I can send that to you after the show.
No, definitely. You should definitely get on LinkedIn as well.
Yep.
What about you? Do you have any too?
Yes, I do. And I don't have them all memorized, so I can probably send them over. But yes, I'm on Facebook. So, just your facebook.com/ the real Margaret T with a period between Margaret and T. I'm on TikTok at Margaret T. Cox. I'm on Instagram, which is, at Miss Lady Magpie. I love magpies. They're extremely intelligent birds and very creative, actually. So I thought it was kind of fitting, I hope. It is fitting. And let's see, where else? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I do have a LinkedIn. I haven't touched it in years, though. It was originally for my piano studio when I was a teacher. So I don't really use that as much. I need to revamp it. I am on IMDb as Margaret T. Cox. If you want to look me up on IMDb, I have one film on there right now. And I think that encompasses all of my social media.
No, absolutely. Now it's the last 50 seconds left. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? Starting off with you.
Oh, either one of us?
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to be on it, it's another connection. It's another opportunity to get out there. It's another opportunity to network. It's another opportunity, as you said, Keith, to make more friends and to work with more artists. It's just all about, I think sometimes what people moving into acting, even myself only 3 years ago, is that it's so important. It's not just about who you know, but who knows you. So, and treating each relationship with as much respect and as much integrity as possible, and just being just honorable in the relationships and proving that you're worth other people's time, but just networking and meeting new friends and getting out there. And now I've had a very enjoyable time. This has been great. Yeah.
No, absolutely. What about you?
I totally agree with Margaret. I was really honored that she asked me to participate in this interview. I have never really been interviewed before like this, so it's very interesting and a really cool opportunity to get to know other people and network. That is so important to meet others in the field, whether it be fellow actors and actresses, casting directors, agents, you name it. It's really great to connect with people and, hopefully form wonderful relationships in the future.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up our talk show, it's a real honor and privilege having both of you on the show. Looking forward to part 2 down the road. But wrapping up, until we meet again, catch you later. Make sure to like and subscribe to the KeithAndrewNetWork, #KeithAndrewNetWork.